Today's episode of In the Trenches is brought to you by System 12 Guitar Method. Sign up today at ryanroxie.com.
In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
Hello, and welcome to another live stream episode of In the Trenches. I am your host, Ryan Roxie. And as you can see, normally I'm in the studio in our nice, luscious North Pole location in Sweden. But this episode finds me out on the road somewhere in a hotel room somewhere in America. All right. And this is not a green screen, folks. This is the real deal. This is what real hotel rock and roll touring is about. And our guest today knows a thing or two about that. Because when you think of one name artists, and you know I'm a big fan of one name artists and or just one name in general. Obviously, he's got a last name, but everyone knows him as this one name. I'm talking I'm not talking Seal. I'm not talking Sting, but for instance, what Madonna is to pop music, I think our artist today is to heavy metal, because you associate him, his voice, his look for so many years with the genre of heavy metal. Of course, I am talking about Udo. I just have to say Udo, just like the same way you'd say Lemmy, but Udo Dirkschneider. And I think I said that right as well. So let's welcome into the trenches the one name of heavy metal, lead singer, frontman, Udo. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Hello. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm enjoying a little bit of holiday and with my family, my son and the wife of my son and my granddaughter. So, everything's fine, everything good.
It's been a while. I mean, I don't know if you remember the first time we ever hung out together. I think it was down at Sweden Rock Festival. And you were kind enough to invite me up for Balls to the Wall, and you were playing, and it was one of the loudest experiences I've had in my entire life, because because your band likes to play super loud, because you are super loud. Is that always been a thing for you, just pure volume? And
but we changed a little bit the whole technical side. Now we have in-ears, and no, it's not that loud anymore on stage. It's just like in your ears now. You can
I
hear.
can see you have a little wireless bud right in there right now. You're on the head of the curve of technology. I love it. Well, there's a certain lead singer that I play with that is still getting used to that in-ears thing. How long did it take you from going from old ear monitors and loud side fills to this in-ear experience?
I did this on the last tour when we did the Steel Factory tour. That was my son said, come on, Daddy, try this. This is much better. You can make your own sound and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, okay, come on. I'll try it. And I don't want to miss this anymore. This is perfect. You can control yourself much more. And, you can if you have a nice sound engineer, he knows, okay, you need this a little bit louder in this song and this and this and this. And I'm fine with that. And maybe I used this already earlier, but the old days, old style.
But who knows what would have happened if we didn't have that experience of that sound? Because people used to say, oh man, you must be deaf from being on stage. Well, nowadays that's just not the case, because you do have a little pack on your wireless so you can control it. But back in the day, it was just as loud as it was to be in the front row. It was maybe even louder. And trust me, when I played with you guys on that Sweden Rock stage, it was the loudest thing I've ever heard, and I've ever played.
Maybe Motorhead was a little bit louder than that.
a tiny bit. I don't know. So, Udo, I'm glad that we're able to have this conversation. We've all been through, as touring musicians, we've all been through this sort of drought of not touring. but that hasn't stopped you from creating and
Yes.
working on music. And you've been very busy throughout the whole pandemic, because I don't want to dwell on 2020 and what has been to 2021. I want to look forward to the future, and you have not one but two projects that you're currently working on. One, which the fans are going to be very, very excited about, is coming out, the new Udo record. That's Game Over.
Yes.
But there you go. But just to go back a little bit to get forward, we're going to talk about this project that you just recently put out, Dirkschneider and the Old Gang Arising. So if we could just go back to get forward a little bit, does that sound good, Vic? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So we're not going back that far. We will go back a little bit later when we talk about it. But just to get things, a perspective of what you've been doing during the pandemic, tell us about Dirkschneider and the Old Gang, how it came about, and why you decided to release that 3-song EP.
Yeah. So I mean, first the song. Come on, something with Angel. Here we go. That was the song, normally a song for the We Are One album, what we did with the orchestra, But this album was completely full. And then we said, come on, this song, we put this on just on YouTube without dealing and stuff like that. And so the reaction was fantastic. And and then Stefan Kaufmann came up and said, hey, come on, we have two more songs, not really finished ones, but we have 2 more left. It was also planned normally for the We Are One album with the orchestra. So, and then he said, come on, now this pandemic stuff, now your crew has no work, the band has no work. And then we tried to make a deal with this, and that's my record company, AFM. And then all the money goes to the crew of U.D.O. and the rest of the band, So we did everything for free, also the studio production, everything. So yeah, that was more a charity thing, And then of course, I knew what's coming up, Stefan Kaufmann, Peter Bolt, Udo Dirkschneider. Okay, already 3 of a band called, what was the name? Accept, yes. And
that band.
Yeah,
right.
that band. Yeah, I heard of them. And and then the people say, oh yeah, this is a new band coming up, and blah 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 blah. So that was, but there is nothing planned that we are touring or doing some concerts, or with only 3 songs. And it was just like, it was nice to work, together with this Manuela. She was already working with us on the We Are One album, on the orchestra album. Yeah, and also my son, and then my old guitar player Matthias Dietz, we still talk to each other when he was leaving U.D.O. Yeah, and so that was a lot of fun, This was also like without any pressure, without any thinking, we have to do like this or this, just we did it like it is.
Yeah.
And the reaction was fantastic. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, definitely not at the moment, but I don't want to say that maybe someday will be an album with this lineup.
You could see it becoming an album. Exactly. Well, I think it's very cool and interesting that, it's not so much, it is a part of the Old Gang, but it's part of the New Gang too. And when I talk about you playing, with your son, must be a very cool experience. Sven Dirkschneider has been playing drums with you for a while now. When did he start getting into the drums, and did you get him into the drums, or was he just a product of his environment because he was always hanging out at the shows?
He started when he was 4 years old, and believe me, he had a child drum, and it was a nightmare in the house. It was a noise, unbelievable, Okay, then we said that maybe, half a year or a year, and then that's it. No. So he was continue, and then he has lessons, and then he was joining a band. They was playing some church stuff, and then he was getting his own band. So he was still really into that, And then when we were looking for a new drummer, after Francesco Jovino, I was, okay, there was a lot of drummers, they want to join UDO, of course. And then I was, for some reason, I think it was promotion stuff in Berlin, in Germany, and I want to meet Saxon. They were playing at that night, and my son was playing also the drums for Saxon, but the drummer of Saxon was ill.
Okay.
So and then I was and then I was talking to Biff, and I said, I'm looking for a new drummer. Maybe you have an idea, blah blah blah. And he said, I have a good idea. Your son. I said, come on, you're joking, He said, definitely he can play that stuff, Yeah. So, and then I was talking to my son, asked him, what you think, be the drummer in UDO. And it takes 4 weeks before he said yes. I know what he did in 4 weeks. He was rehearsing all the songs, to see, can I play that or can I not? But and then he said, I do it. And I'm really happy, to get him on the drums, to have him on the drums now in UDO.
Well, that the history of a lot of lead singers' relationships with their drummers, because a lot of lead singers actually start out playing drums. A lot of the guys that I've had on the podcast so far, as far as frontman, they started playing drums. One that comes in particular in mind is the Steven Tyler relationship that he has with his drummer in Aerosmith, and how he caused him to have a nervous twitch. Do you find yourself being a lead singer that's very demanding of your drummer, or because it's your son, do you cut him some slack, or do you guys have a really good, positive, just sort of helpful relationship?
I will say we have a really good relationship. It's like it's not like father and son. It's more friendship. It's really like, sometimes he's coming up and said, maybe we can do it like this, or we can change something here and there, especially with the new album. And I'm really happy. He is doing a really good job in UDO. Not only the drums, he's very much in production stuff and so on and on and on. He's doing a lot of things.
Right. So maybe he gets to be the one in charge and telling you to do another take, and you to get push it on this next take, Dad. I love it. So, and the thing is, you're going to see him, you're going to see him again in your next band as well, because he's on the new Udo recordings, which we're talking about, the Udo album that you're putting out now, which you're planning for an October release. Is that what we're talking?
Yes. It's coming out on the 22nd of October. And that will be the release. Was normally planned 1 month earlier, but all the pandemic stuff, they have problems, to do the CDs and vinyl, blah blah blah. Everything is
with vinyl is like almost like a year waiting list, right? That's what I've been hearing around from people. Actually, all these albums are getting delayed more because of the technology of a vinyl album. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
How did the recording of that go during the pandemic? Were you able to all meet up in the room, or did you guys do it more remotely?
We normally if we start working on an album, we normally collect all the ideas, to send me MP3 and then listen to okay. And then when we think we have enough material, normally we go into, let's say a rehearsal room where we can record, or a little studio, and then we do all the arrangements face to face. But this time, okay, the first part was okay to collect all the ideas, and then the rest, the arranging stuff, was over the internet, like WhatsApp, FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, and all that stuff.
Whatever platform it takes, right?
Yes, and that was a little bit strange, And it was also a little bit, then you have to wait. Okay, I sent you the file like this, and then I sent you this and this. Yeah,
Do you have a
and
studio
then
now? Because for those that don't know, that's not just a green screen that Udo has in back of him. That's actually his view of his from your apartment or from your house or wherever it is. I know that it might be a picture, but that's kind of what the way you're looking.
it's a picture.
But it's
a
kind of
picture.
not that. It's not that far from the truth, because the deal is
No, yes,
you're the king of Ibiza, and you've been
yes,
living there for many years. Have you
yes.
been? Do you record albums down there? Because that seems to be like it would be a really nice perk if I was in your band to just like say, hey, I need to lay some guitar tracks down. Can I come down and visit you at your studio?
Yeah, but I mean, so now we had a small studio here in Ibiza when Fitti Wiener was still in the band, but he is
Yeah.
out now since 2018, and so I mean, now I go always like to Germany, and we work more in Stefan Kaufmann's studio, and so with the game over was like we did all the arrangements over the internet, and then everybody goes on his own into the studio. Normally, definitely, I'm in a studio. The guitar players are there, so but
Yeah.
it was not possible. So
Well,
and.
It's going to be
Yeah.
a different experience when you guys actually, plug it up and get everything rolling for this upcoming tour. When was the last time that Udo went on the like sort of a proper tour? What did you do it before? Did you try and do any shows in 2020, even though it was kind of sporadic in Europe?
We did only one show in 2020, and that was in Bulgaria. We did we did a big show there. I mean, it was for us it was like wow. And then we said, okay, we want to record this show, film this show. So there's a DVD out, pandemic survival show, and and yeah, that was also. I mean, it was amazing, and then also the venue. I mean, it was like wow. I mean, a really nice place, and that was the only show in 2020, and then and then the rest of the time we are doing the whole game over stuff. In between, I did the Dirkschneider and the old gang thing, and
The game is far from being over, though, for you. I feel the game is definitely far from being over, because you do have plans to go out there and tour this. And do you know if 2020 is already looking like European tours, or does it look like even a trek out here? Because right now with the Alice Cooper Band, we're dipping our toe back into touring, and we're right now on tour with Ace Frehley around the United States. Does Udo have plans in 2022? There's our tour dates that Vic just put up. Thank you very much. If you zoom in on there. But what about 2022 for Udo? Do you have?
If we are lucky, we did just 2 festivals this year. That was the Alcatraz Festival in Belgium, and then we did a festival in Czech Republic. So everything was fine. The hygienic stuff, everything was perfect. There was nothing happened. And so now the first thing, hopefully it works, is the first half of the European tour in November, December.
Okay, so there will be dates in November, December of this year. So
maybe, nobody knows,
Yeah, I know.
And then the plan is in January to South America. We will see South America. Okay, and then the next step is in February, Russia, and then the second half of the European tour. Festivals coming up then in 2022. Definitely, I think we do Wacken. That I know.
Yeah, that's kind of like basically your backyard in a way, because it's your stomping ground. It's like everybody, you're a household name at Wacken. For those of you that don't know about the Wacken Festival, it probably is the biggest heavy metal festival, I'd say, in the world. I used to say Europe, but now I'd say in the world, because it's just
in the world. Yeah, it is.
People,
Yeah. So and then just I heard that we are coming to America in September, So we will see
Okay.
if everything works in 2022, then we have a full year of touring.
You have a hotel room somewhere in America waiting for you, just like this. What do you think?
Very nice. I know places like that.
You've been doing it for years. I love it, and that's what we're here with Udo Dirkschneider from U.D.O, and of course, for many, the only singer of Accept that will always be. And I've been lucky enough to be on stage with the man and know how powerful his voice is. Wasn't as powerful as the Marshall stack I was playing through, but that's the reason why I had to compete with his voice on that. We're going to take a very short commercial break right now because we are maybe German themed right now. This is our headphones and microphones that we're using is Beyerdynamic. So why don't we run a commercial, Vic, right now? We'll come back with a little bit more of Udo Dirkschneider. Hello, Ryan Roxie here, host of the In the Trenches podcast, and I also play guitar for Alice Cooper. I just wanted to take a second to talk about what mic you're hearing me speak through and what headphones I choose to listen to all my audio with. My go-to podcast and live performance mic is this TG V70 dynamic vocal mic. And when I'm recording acoustic stuff, I'll always mic it up with the Beyerdynamic M160 double ribbon mic. I listen to everything with the DT1770 Pro headphones unless I'm out and about. That's when the Eventho wireless headphones really make listening to music, podcasts, or any other audio app that's on my phone ultra high fidelity and latency free. Check out their official site or the links below in the description of this video to find out more about what makes Beyerdynamic a musician's choice in pro audio mics and headphones. Now, let's get back into the trenches for some more rock and roll. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the ride. See, it's not a boring black background here. We're at a hotel room talking with Udo Dirkschneider. And of course, we've already talked about the fact that he's got his new projects already out there. That's Dirkschneider and the Old Gang with their EP Arising and the upcoming U.D.O record called Game Over. But I was very, very, again, big thanks to our script supervisor, Federica, for helping us out with a lot of this information that I didn't know about. And you and I have talked before in the past. I've actually interviewed before. We walked around Old Town Stockholm.
Oh, yeah. Remember.
Yeah, I asked you some definitions. It ended with a beer. It was fine. But you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe for just some fun, we'll put a little clip of that in, and we can show you guys how that went. But maybe that's for some bonus material. But the thing was, I did not know that when you first started out, like so many people from my generations. Whoa, that's going way back, Vic. What are you doing? I wasn't going to go that far, but there you go. But one of your biggest influences was the Beatles.
That was my first influence, yeah. And also my parents was really into rock and roll. I mean, all this Elvis stuff and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I grew up with rock and roll music at home. And and that was my first single, I'm Down. Yes.
That's a great song. I think it's one of the more underrated Beatles songs because you hear the Beatlemania songs, but that certain one, I'm Down, I think Aerosmith did a good cover of it at one point. Have you ever covered that song just because it was your first album?
No. No, I mean, that was, and then with the Beatles, that was, the Rolling Stones came up, and that was something, more interesting for me. That was more dirty, more, I don't know, there was something like, more rock and roll, Beatles was
a little bit more swagger.
And then it definitely completely into the Rolling Stones. And then, I mean, the first time, what was that? In '68, I went to London, the old Marquee Club, and then I saw The Who. I saw Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix, that was for me like, what is this? The guitar was like the sound. It was like, wow. And then I saw also Rory Gallagher with his band The Taste, and that
Great
was also like
guitarist as well.
great, yeah. And then Stan Webb also at the Marquis Club, and and then I came back to Germany, and then I bought the album of Stan Webb, and it was called Accept. And then we said, okay, band X is not a good name. We call the band now Accept. Then I started the whole thing together with Michael Wagner.
That was one of those things I did not know that Michael Wagner, a very famous producer that has gone on to produce many popular artists, Ozzy Osbourne, Metallica, Megadeth, Halloween. I mean, the list goes on and on. But you guys, were you both going through this process together of being fans of all these bands?
Yeah, I mean, that was like the same. Let's say we did. Yeah, it was very much into Black Sabbath, Uriah Heep, The Sweet, Deep Purple, and all that stuff, you know. And that was really like 10 years after. That was the music where we listened, what we listened to, and and then we found another guitar player, and I was still playing keyboards at this time. But not
Wait a second.
So long.
See, now that's the one thing. Did you have a keytar, one of those ones that's strapped around as a guitar?
No. A real thing, you know.
I just can't imagine Udo Dirkschneider as the keyboard player.
Yeah, but I was not that good, so that's why I changed over just only singing. You know? Yeah, but it was interesting, and then we was playing in small, really small clubs, House of Hughes stuff. You know, that was like a popular thing, and then Michael after his he was in the military. He was in Hamburg, and then he stays in Hamburg and was going into the band. The factory was called Strength Amplifiers, and then he was learning all that stuff, and then he became
producer, engineer,
engineer, and all that stuff. You know, and we had a lot of time, and. He was going bigger and bigger in this in his work, and I was going bigger with Accept. You know, it was like.
And at that time, there you are. There's a cool shot of you guys, the original lineup. Now, let me ask you this: because of your German language. And you know, then all of a sudden you're put in this position of singing songs in English. Were you comfortable at first, or was there definitely take some time to get the English under your belt? And do we ever under our belt? I have a hard time speaking English, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the beginning. Let's be honest, not so easy for me. You know, it was like a lot of you hear that really love German accent in there. And I still have this, I think. I mean, of course, now it's getting better, but at this time it was not so easy, you know. But
as a kid growing up, though, I got to be honest, Udo, I never heard it. And I honestly would have sort of looked at you guys as more of a UK-based band just because of the new wave of British heavy metal and everything that was coming out. And when I listen to old ABBA records, it's the same thing. I don't notice their accents until you really break it down.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, that was very interesting when we did the first Accept album in Germany. Everybody was thinking this is an English band. You know, they're coming from England. Wow, what is this? A new band? No, from Germany. Hello, yeah, from Germany.
Well, you did have a song called London Leather Boys, so that may be kind of, you know.
Yeah, London Leather Boys is what more like a motorcycle gang, you know. That was the Ball to the Wall album. That was already much later. The first, I mean, the first Accept album was in 78 or 79, something like that. So yeah. So what can I say? I mean, I always when we start making the small band with Michael together, I always said I want to be the hardest band in Germany. So, and I think I made it.
You definitely made it. and you've obviously blossomed out from Germany because it's become an international thing. And
Yes.
there's so many German bands that have built the foundation of what we look at and think of as heavy metal. Of course, there's the UK bands I think that have a foundation as well. But if you think about artists like yourself and female artists like Doro Pesch, so
Yes.
important to the heavy metal community.
Oh, yes.
And the two of you have actually collaborated on stuff over the years, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think in a way we are good friends, I mean, we don't see us that very often, but when we see us, we talk to each other and blah, 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 blah. But she's still doing good. And she's also, I mean, I don't know, in the middle 50s, something like that. And yeah, I mean, it's always fun to do something with her, And I think she is, for me, yeah, one of the female metal singers still doing very well,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She was an absolute delight to have on the podcast, and any of those that are listening and watching right now, we thank you for that. We'd like for you to, of course, go on our YouTube official channel right now and hit that subscribe button right now. We're hanging out with Udo Dirkschneider, but if you want to check out some older episodes, one of those great episodes was Doro Pesch, and she was on the program not that long ago. Maybe another reason why you have this longevity and you have this international fame is because not just Germany, but the UK press really embraces you. I know that Metal Hammer, which is German, UK, all over Europe based, they've awarded you with the Maximum Metal Award. And what does that mean to you to have this award? Like, some people say, okay, well, that's sort of a lifetime achievement award, but you're not done with your achieving goals, right? You still have a lot of touring left in you.
Yeah, but I mean, this was something, I mean, it's a really honor to get this, and this award. That means that you did something in this business, and I do this already for a long, long time. And yeah, I mean, I was really proud to get this award. And what can I say? But nothing. I'm still working on a lot of things, And yeah, I'm really looking forward. A lot of people already asking me when you want to retire. I said, retire? What is this? I mean, I don't want to retire. This is like, I mean, now. With pandemic stuff, for example, I mean, now it's everything is done. Album is done. A lot of stuff what I did is also though, and now you sit home in a way, and you can do in a way nothing. Only okay. Now I do the interviews for the new album.
Doing press. You're talking about it, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as getting out there.
And it's like, for me, like, this will be the situation if you are retiring, sitting at home, drinking coffee, go for a walk, and then, I don't know, read the newspaper or what. No, this is definitely not me, I don't know. I mean, I always say I still have fun. Still my voice is working, and still we can tour worldwide like this. What is the reason to stop? Yeah. So
you feel more home on the road.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, definitely. I understand. Yeah, and so something like this is seems almost more like, hey, I'm here, I'm back. I get it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, but then again, you have the best of both worlds, because then when you get off tour, you get to go to where most people go to vacation. So you get to go to Ibiza, and then it calls you home. Now, does the local Ibiza population, do they all know you as Udo Dirkschneider, or do they go, who's that guy with the earbuds in his ears?
More. Sometimes people, tourist people, they may be like, oh, but not if the people of the island. No.
Was that one of the reasons? The obvious reason to me, because now after living in Sweden for so many years, I'm just going towards the sun. The next place I move to is going to have the sun. So I have to imagine that's one of the ideas that you chose to live and move to Ibiza and relocate. Was it the only reason? Was there other
No,
reasons
not
that you chose?
not the only reason. I mean, I split up with my wife 15 years ago, 14 years, I don't know, 13 years or 14 years ago, and then it was definitely the time I said, okay, I don't want to stay in Germany anymore. The bass player Fitty Wienhold, he's living just 5 minutes from here. So, and then we built up a small studio, was working here, and so I always was a fan of Ibiza, you know. And that was the point to go away from Germany, and also, you know, it's really the air and everything. It's much more healthier than in Germany, definitely.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, but at the moment, it looks like I will go back to Germany completely. I have so much work in Germany. It's not only the music. I mean, I don't know if you know that I did the rock kitchen on TV. I did also some stuff with TV, you know, and then now some people ask me maybe do some radio stuff. Okay, I don't want to do too much, but you know, it's a lot of things to do in Germany. And now we have 2 studios in Germany, one with Stefan Kaufmann. My son had his own studio, but he had a moment at no studio. There was a big flood going on in Germany.
Oh yeah, we heard the river flowed out. Yeah, wow. So his studio, your son's studio, was affected by that
completely until the first, and also completely the ground and all the basement and also the first floor completely underwater. Wow. He cannot live at the moment in his house, you know. It's like he's living in the house of his wife, you know. And
Dad, I'm coming down to Ibiza. I'm coming down to Ibiza. Now, let me ask you a really a hardball question. I'm sure you get asked a lot because of your experience with Ibiza. Have you ever been to a foam party?
To a what party?
See, I always ask you these groundbreaking questions. I think last time I asked you if Balls to the Wall had any reference to glory holes, and then I asked you if you knew what a glory hole was, and you were like, what are you talking about, Roxie? A foam party is something that they have in Ibiza where it foam, like, you know, like the soap and bubbles and the disco and stuff.
Yeah,
have you ever been to a foam party?
No.
Okay.
This is definitely also not my kind of music, what they're playing there.
Right. But see, that's the type of hard-hitting questions that the In the Trenches people demand. They wanted to know if
No.
No foam parties for Udo.
No,
right?
No.
Strictly metal. Because
we have also good rock clubs here in Ibiza, so a couple of them.
That's
you can
cool.
really hear
you must be the manager of that.
Heavy metal. Nah. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, thank you very much.
You've never been. It could be fun. I don't know. In a rock.
Could be, yeah. Or
we
maybe I'm also
bubbles.
now. Yeah, maybe I'm too old for this old now, you know. Like
keeps you clean.
Yeah.
You never know. So one more question that I have about the old school, and then we're gonna find out a little bit more of how to get in touch with you and stuff. But as far as your son going back to being in a band with him and the whole lineup, is that what's going to be the lineup that you have for this upcoming U.D.O Game Over? Do you have a new lineup worked out, or what's up with that?
I have still my Russian guitar player, Andrei Smirnov. So he's now in the band also for nearly 10 years, long time. And I have 2 new members. Of course, Fitty Wienhold, he doesn't want to do it anymore. And then I found Thielen Hudrop, Slovenia. And then a German guitar player, really unknown guy, D. Damas. And a really young, you know, that was so funny now. I have a band around me. The bass player is 30 years old. My son is 27. The guitar player D, he is 28. And the oldest one now is Andres Murnov. He's 35. He's always said to me, "Oh, I'm the old guy." I said, "Yeah, come on, I'm double, I'm double, you know." And
you're Count Dracula. You feed off the youth. You know,
but
hey, many bands do that.
Yeah, but this is something really. I have a young band around me, you know, and also, you know, with the new album, that was also they're coming with different ideas. Of course, there are different generations. They listen to different bands, you know. They was not growing up with Black Sabbath, Uriah Heep, Deep Purple, and all that stuff. And it's very interesting, and it keeps you going, you know, fresh bloods and push you in a way, and that's good.
The Count Dracula of heavy metal, Udo Dirkschneider.
Yeah.
What you brought up something about new music, and what do people, you know, what do you listen to on your off time?
Me.
It's just you.
I know some people say what, but really, I only put the radio on. Sometimes I listen to, let's say older stuff, Rainbow stuff, Deep Purple, AC/DC stuff, Uriah Heep. But the most of the time, I have the radio on, and there's a good rock stations on. Like in Germany, we have Rock Antenna, Radio Bob. You can get this also here in Ibiza. We have also a rock station here in Ibiza. And just put the radio on and listen to the music, you know. I'm not like really the whole time Motorhead and this stuff. No.
No. Do you do anything to keep your voice in shape? Because your voice it's the type of music that you've played. It's always been very demanding, especially on the vocal cords. Have you, during this whole, you know, sort of hiatus of touring? No,
I do nothing. I mean, it's really. I mean, okay, I stopped now smoking for 17 years, but I never do anything special. You know, still I go on stage and sing. It's the same in the studio, you know. And I don't warm up also in the studio. It's just do it. And
you sound
I'm lucky.
very much.
I think
very
I'm
much
really
like someone I
lucky
know. Yeah,
it
sounds exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think I'm really lucky. I mean, I know a lot of colleagues, singers. They have really problems, you know, and me. Think on wood.
Don't worry. There's plenty of wood in this hotel room. I'm knocking on wood for you. Hey, I play with a singer as well that has a very, how you say, relaxed practice habits. I mean, his way of practicing his vocals is us going out and playing 9 holes of golf, which is great because, I mean, his voice, he's been very, very lucky in that knocking on wood to have it strong. And, you know, of course, we're doing 3 in a row. We're doing a lot of shows. And are you, when you do the next tour, are you planning on doing a type of schedule where it's a little bit more relaxed, or what is your schedule? 3 shows in a row, day off? Or
no, we do mostly 4 or 5 shows and then have a day off. Yeah,
that's some old school touring, man.
Yeah, strong working. And then, of course, I mean, I changed a little bit, you know. You know, in Europe, you're in a nightliner.
Yes.
Not in a hotel, you know. It's like show, nightliner, next town, and so on and on. Yeah. So, but now, if we have some day off, then I go to the hotel, relax, you know. Or let's say if we have a long drive with the nightliner, then I do, yes, it's luxury. I know. Then I fly to the next city, you know, and stay a little bit longer in hotels and stuff like that. That's the only luxury what I'm doing now in my age, you know. It's like I'm not 20 years old anymore.
I love it, dude. Yeah. You have the work ethic of a bull, and I was sort of whining and cringing about doing 3 shows in a row. So I was hoping that you were going to say, well, I only do 1 show and then 2 days off, and then another show, you know, 2 shows. But no, I can't go back to management and say, well, Udo works even more. 4 or 5 shows. So I'm not going to mention that to any of our management. So here we go. it is now time for, because we see you out there in the chat. We appreciate you being here and supporting our podcast. Every single week, we have a fan of the week. And this week, it's a very special one. So Vic is going to run that. And Vic. Fan of the week, Anders Lindholm. Man, I didn't know we were this organized right now. So
I know this guy.
Yeah, he's been to shows. He's been to both Alice shows. He's been to Udo shows. He's Udo shows, and very, very supportive fan from Sweden. So there, and you're very popular in Sweden. It's not just all, it's not just Germany. It's not just, but you have a special relationship with Swedish fans, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, I like Sweden, I mean, it's always nice to do shows there. And the fans are really nice. I mean, I have a good relationship with also Hammerfall, and yeah, I mean, this is that they come to the shows, and that, oh, hello, talking, if they're not on tour, of course. And yeah, I mean, I like Sweden, I mean, also, I don't know if he still has that much time, Mickey D, but he's now with the Scorpions, and yeah,
that's right.
That's so,
he's
yeah.
the Scorps now.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, I mean, it is one of those questions when someone asks you, well, where are the best fans? And you really can't answer because they're great fans all over the world. And you've been able to, you've been able to have a
twice. And yeah, I mean, it's also for me still amazing, this fan scene, what we had in Russia. This is unbelievable, I mean, and also, I mean, I don't know, the Russian fans are also completely different, they are really into that and singing, and I don't know, it's always a different atmosphere in Russia. But then, of course, you go to South America, this is like
it's a complete different energy. Yeah,
it is. So you cannot really tell who is where are the best fans. It's hard to say.
I think when you have such an international following the way you do, that they're pretty much passionate everywhere. It's just different levels of the way they show it. Like like a Scandinavian audience might not be as over the top as perhaps an Italian or Spanish or South American audience, but they'll know every single word and they'll sing it back to you as well. So I mean, fans all over the world appreciate Udo, and of course we appreciate anybody that supports our music and the stuff that we do. And when you're talking about all this band that you had together, this younger band, at one time I was the young guy that was in Alice's band, but now I've been playing with him for as long as I have. But I'm always there for you, Udo, if you'd like for me to come up and guest on a song again, and maybe at a more manageable volume, but I would love to come up and hopefully our paths cross at some point.
No problem. No problem.
I love it. Well, hey, the best way to get in touch with Udo and his social media, do you want to put that up there? And Udo, do you want to say it for those that are listening on our audio broadcast?
Yeah, this is you can use that. You found everything, definitely.
And just Instagram, that's at Udo_official, Facebook. Udo.
Yeah, the only thing, Instagram at the moment is not working. We have to build up a new thing on Instagram. So, but the rest is working.
Okay. Well, we'll find it all, and people want to find about the new album, Game Over. That's the new Udo record that is coming out with your son playing drums on it, as well as a superstar cast, and some of the same members of that new album already have something out right now called Dirkschneider and the Old Gang, and that's called Arising. You can catch that EP on AFM Records, and you can probably check out some videos on their official YouTube, as you can check out any of our videos, any of our past episodes of In the Trenches on Ryan Roxie official YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button somewhere around there if you are listening and watching us on YouTube. So, just one last thing before we go, because you didn't give us this huge routine of vocal exercises. I wasn't expecting it, but you're very casual with warming up. You've been very fortunate to have your voice be strong throughout all these years. But as far as life goes, to our listeners and viewers, is there any sort of life lesson that you sort of live by that you might want to pass on to other people before we leave?
Life lessons, Paul. I mean, this is hard to say, you know. I mean, I was creating, I think, my own vocal technique by myself, you know. I never had lessons or something like that. I mean, I also was not like to say I want to sing like Ian Gillan or I want to sing like Bon Scott or something like that. I mean, I always, try to have my own style and my own technique, you know. And this is you can do some stuff with lessons, you know, the breathing stuff and all that.
The fundamentals.
But I think the best thing what you can have is like have it natural.
Yes.
Nature.
Be original. Yeah.
Yes, be original. That's it.
Be original, be yourself. And I think that's not just applicable to singing, it's applicable to life in general. And that's what I was going for an answer. And you did more. I'm glad we were able to cover Micah Wagner and the story about how you guys started, and then you both went on to very huge success from that small German town, a little bit outside of Cologne. Is that where it's at?
No, we start in Wuppertal. In Wuppertal and Solingen. This is a little bit, 50 kilometers from Cologne.
And then it's brought you all the way to this lovely place in Ibiza.
Yes.
Where we get to talk to each other and dive into the trenches. Thanks for being in the trenches, Udo. Everybody check out the new album. That's U.D.O, Game Over, coming out in October. And of course, right now, Dirkschneider and the Old Gang are rising, out now. Udo, again, a pleasure to have you on. I'm sure our rock paths will cross somewhere at the end of 2021 or 2022. Yeah.
2022, maybe, and then definitely we have a good time together. Maybe
Absolutely. Another beer, another beer, and maybe a foam party somewhere. Foam party.
Why not? Nah.
All right,
Okay.
Udo. Have a good one, and until next time, I'm Ryan Roxie. Enjoy the ride. See ya.
Okay. Bye. See ya.
Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
As you can tell, this guy's Udo, and we have a segment called Hanging with Udo. So imagine that. Udo just farted. That's the way Germans fart. Even their farts are like really mechanical.
Yeah, of course, like a machine.
All right, so let's just go take a walk in the next segment, Hanging with Udo.
Oh. Good. Yeah.
Nicky Anderson. Yeah, Imperial State Electric, one of Sweden's best bands right now. What do you think about that?
Good, very good.
Good look?
Yeah, good looking.
All right,
good.
Cool. Let's go.
But I cannot wear something like that.
I don't think you might not get the same sort of people might actually take it a bit further, huh?
Yeah.
Along with the camouflage, and the fact that you're German.
Be wrong thinking then.
Boys, there's always been some sort of thing that has pushed the envelope, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, like Balls to the Wall and London Leather Boys. There was in the 80s they called us a gay metal band. Yeah, but we are not gay metal band.
No, never were. So Balls to the Wall has no reference to any glory hole whatsoever.
No.
Do you know what a glory hole is?
No.
Well, for those of you out there that are watching this show in the future, this is what they used to call a record store where you could actually go in and buy records. So we're going to go in with Udo and see what kind of records maybe that he likes to listen to.
Okay.
Shall we? Most of your records have been released on vinyl.
Yeah, nearly all of them. So there may be one or two missing.
I can think of one right off the bat.
Yeah, Thin Lizzy, very good one. Jailbreak. Yeah, I was listening many times to this, very often to this band, and also especially this Jailbreak is a very good album.
Your voice, it's been described as not radio friendly. If I say screw that, it's
not
friendly.
radio friendly. It's not radio friendly.
No, but that's what people say. But honestly, I think you're one of the friendliest guys I know. I mean, we've known each other for years. So why is your voice so unfriendly?
I don't know. I mean, I try to be friendly always.
Well, let's go see if we can find. We need to find some camouflage because look, I came out in total. Yeah, I came out for it, and that's sort of your thing.
Yeah, no,
I'm a team player. I came out to do the interview in camo.
I'm not walking around always with camouflage.
Or we would never see you if you were. Maybe you are.
No, it's just do this on stage, but in private, I don't walk around in camouflage.
Let's see if we can go find some sort of accessory for Udo, shall we? Let's go. Okay, maybe we could go in here in this store and see if there's something we can find for Udo to wear. Don't you think?
No, there's nothing in there.
You never if we were to maybe go for a new look, would people actually be...
This one?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to unveil the new look for the new tour.
I'm pretty stupid with stuff like that.
What is the things that you collect? Because everybody has some sort... Lemmy has his daggers, Jay Leno has his Ferraris and cars. What is your collectibles?
I really have to tell this? No, I mean, what I collect is, how you call this, from India, some like Buddha's statues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got many at home.
Okay. About how many? What's a...
At the moment, it's around 25. Completely different ones, so, yeah, I'm into... I'm not into...
You're not a Buddhist?
No.
But you like the statues?
I like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? All of a sudden, Udo's mailbox has just gotten flooded with... what if you have like 1 million Buddhas sent to you now?
But nobody has my address in Ibiza.
But now you just gave away the country, so you just...
Yeah, that's okay.
I think you're the only Udo in Ibiza.
Yeah, I'm the only Udo in Ibiza. That's maybe...
So maybe you could just send the Buddha there, and you could just put a stamp on it and say, Udo, Ibiza. There you go.
Yeah, maybe.
Why not? All right. What is your pet peeve question of like one that someone asks you every time and you go, Argh. Like why did he ask that again? Why
question again? And why you are not join the band and blah 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 blah. So I mean, get a little bit tired of it.
So I guess my next question would be, except managed to make this not just a one tour thing. You managed to do it for pretty much your whole life. How do you stay healthy on the road? Is it pub food or is it?
I never take drugs. And don't be an alcoholic. So, and I mean, it's if you want to do this job and you want to do it 100%, then you have to stay healthy.
See, that's the advice that you guys need out there because this guy's done it. This guy's done it. He's living proof that you can do it.
For 40 years now.
40 years. And now we're going to take all that advice that you just gave and sort of just put it in our back pocket. We're going to take that advice, but we're going to have a beer ourselves.
Okay.
And we're going to close out the Hanging with Udo section. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Hanging with Udo. Thank you, Udo.
Bye-bye. Cool.